I got to lean in.
What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It is time to lean in, bitch. Welcome to the Lean on Mondays. I'm here with Jasmine and Antonio. We're here to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? I'm not the little fingers.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? It's the end of Black History Month. Did you be real black this month, or?
Damn, it is. It's always in
Yes,
and out so fast.
I know. Well, it's
We need
28
another
days.
month. They should give us 2 months.
Or
The
yeah,
whole year.
yeah.
Well, that's true. You know what? Let me share the whole fucking year. Every day should be Black History Month. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Taylor. Taylor said I was not gonna miss this one. It should be a good one. What's going on, David, Jasmine, Classy Lady, Melanie, Wasonia, MJ, TKC. Oh Lord. You may notice my voice is a little scratchy. I'm sounding like Brandy today. But child, the weather. I've been traveling.
Brandon, like how I get in it.
I've been traveling and I got my antibiotics going. So listen, I could not cancel because this is a really good one. So bear with me, like the video, subscribe to the channel. There are 37 people in the chat right now. At this moment, in the next minute, I should have at least 37 likes. I'm just saying. So like this video right now, so you gotta do it later. And if your friends come in, make them like too. All right. Y'all ready to get into it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Also, blame Sammy. I was with Sammy last night, and Sammy bought me a drink, and then I woke up. It was today, so I feel like something happened.
We're going to have to talk about that offline because I got some
I know.
things that I can't say.
Oh, okay, Portia.
Right, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yes, like the video. All right, y'all. So, part 2 of the reunion, I thought actually was a very good reunion part because I don't think they have some real conversations. Like, there are little moments here and there that are funny, entertaining, but overall, like, they're having some real conversations. And I feel like for once, Andy has been listening to us.
I agree.
From the segments that he has, put in, like the colorism thing, allowing them to kind of take out. Although I wish it would have been a moderator, honestly, but it was still cool. To the questions that he asking the people that are usually protected, like Gizelle. And he over Robyn, but in this moment he didn't know what Robyn had did. But you can tell he still was kind of onto her ass. I'll just say the light ladies are not in the most. They don't have favor on their side in this reunion. They getting wore out.
That's true.
So, picking up in this reunion part 2, Candiace is still going in on Gizelle about her dwindling uterus. We talked about this last week, how people felt about it. I still see controversy. I don't care. It was dwindling. It's gone. Whatever. So it is what it is. I ain't got one, but I'm just saying. At this rate, Gizelle's
Mine is barely hanging on. Barely hanging on.
Mine gone too. So listen. But nonetheless, Candiace wants to know. She still doesn't know what is it that Gizelle has done. I'm sorry, that Chris has done to Gizelle. She don't know. And so Gizelle said it wasn't that he was inappropriate. He just made her feel uncomfortable. And that's what she's sticking to or whatever. And so, Gizelle says that Candiace has made this bigger. I think she said this in her interview a couple of months ago too. And Mia opens her damn mouth and says she agrees that Candiace made it bigger. Candiace tells her to shut up without looking at her. It was very windy to Mia. And Mia just basically won't stop. She's still going. I really wish Candiace would have just really cussed her out. But, whatever, Mia wouldn't stop. And Mia basically says that she should at least be able to acknowledge that Chris was inappropriate with Gizelle. Gizelle says he was not inappropriate. I was uncomfortable. That's what she said. And then they bring up the Deborah story, in which none of what Deborah said matched the cameras. Of course, they said that some of the footage was, taken out, or basically, as you said, listen, that's still my Sesame Street looking ass friend. And maybe, they didn't add the right clip in. So I pass it to y'all. Starting with you, Jazz. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was real funny that Mia and her Bigfoot ass felt it necessary for her to continue to interrupt Candiace in her soliloquy of how she felt about the bullshit that was said about her husband. I found it really funny that her gargantuan foot ass had so much to say about Candiace and what she was saying when she got up and assaulted another woman because of what she felt was said about her husband in the moment. I just don't understand. It's always, you can be mad, but I could be mad, but you can't be mad. It's always a double standard. A double standard when it comes to that stuff. So that's what I think about Mia.
Okay.
And when it comes to just the fact of, just the interaction between Candiace and Gizelle, I felt as though that both of them were talking over each other, even though I spoke with Candiace. But I bet both of them were talking over each other, but we still do not know. I don't think Gizelle actually knows what Chris did. It's okay to feel uncomfortable, but it's also okay to know that it comes from your own trauma and that nobody did anything to you. So.
Okay. I agree completely with that. Antonio?
To go ahead and get the Sesame Street situation out the way, I was glad they touched on it, proved that she was lying, and that they kind of kept it moving. They didn't give it that much voice, that much energy. So maybe she'll go ahead and take RHOP out of her bio now on Instagram. In regards to Gizelle and Candiace, that exchange, I was okay with Candiace really pressing her because Gizelle has been able to, in past seasons, been able to kind of talk her way out of things, and Andy just kind of goes on to the next question or the next situation. So I was glad that Candiace really was pressing that situation. Thinking back on it, I think Gizelle was saying something, she was saying Chris made her feel uncomfortable, but she didn't understand. They were asking, what did he specifically do to make you feel uncomfortable? So did he do something to make you feel uncomfortable, or was it just the situation made you feel uncomfortable? Because to me, those are two completely different things. If he did something, say he, hugged you and he grazed the bottom part of your back or your lower back or your ass or something like that, like what did he do to make you feel uncomfortable? If he did not do anything, then it wasn't him. It was just the situation. And that's okay if she misspoke. But Gizelle is so high on her horse, and y'all not going to, she said what she said and she's not changing it. She is kind of digging that hole deeper for herself, and she's making herself look even more of a dummy because she's not smart.
I agree. I do agree. Jazz, the people are saying your audio is a little muffled. So maybe you try to speak into the headset when you speak. I don't know. This is what I'm seeing in the comments. So
can you hear me now?
We can hear you. I think it's maybe when you move, that thing kind of move. You sound fair to me, but then again, I'm not watching the entire show, so maybe I'm not missing something. Just a little feedback. Hey, Sasuke, I ain't seen you in a minute.
Sasuke.
I thought Sasuke left us, child. She probably.
I know. I haven't seen her in a while.
No, but that's cool. She back because Beverly Hills family, that's Sasuke's show. Okay. My opinion, I'm glad that they did kind of, gloss over that whole Deborah thing because we didn't need to give her any more. As far as her taking RHOP out of her bio, I haven't taken it out of my bio, so I think she's okay. She okay. She can keep it in, child. We both were on the show.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah, I put it in my bio after the finale.
Oh, okay, girl.
Right. If she can do it, I can too. Now I'm gonna take it out when season 8 starts because I made sure I get on season 8 too. So whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna get a contract.
Come on, friend.
Listen, we all love delusion, right? So all right. So then they moved to the Candiace audio. And the audio in which Robyn presented in Miami, where she said none of these bitches are real. They're all panhandling? What if she said
their businesses across these United States?
Right. And so that audio actually takes me out. I laugh at it because I feel like I've used it once in our group chat. But I always post stuff like that just because. But basically, she stands in it and says, yes, I did say this, I did say that. Or whatever, and Andy, basically goes to Robyn and asks her, you know, why she did it, where she got it from. She says she got it from a blog. I get tired of them on this franchise always referencing blogs. I feel like this is probably the one franchise that's always talking about a damn blog. I mean, maybe they ain't watching the right blogs because we be saying stuff too. I don't see it on the show. I'm just saying. But she says that, and she says that she feels like she basically, when she did the audio, she felt like it was for everybody except for Ashley and who was it?
She said that she felt like it was
Gizelle. Ashley Gizelle basically said them hoes ain't got no business or no job. So I know she wasn't talking about they bum asses. That's what she said. But she says that, I mean, Andy was like, you know, she did say nice things about you. I guess she missed that, obviously, because she just went straight to what was, I guess, negative. And, you know, Candiace basically talks about her friendship with her. She says that she is like a really good friend. And I've said on this show many times, like Candiace and Robyn are actually really friends, despite what it may look like. Like, you know, obviously she's really close with Gizelle, Robyn is, but they are and were really good friends. So they speak to that. And Candiace is like, listen, you should just came directly to me as your friend to say like, hey, were you talking about me or like blah, 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 which I mean, I get it. It sounds like Candiace is, her whole thing is like, listen, if we're supposed to be like this, you know, Robyn is making it about being on the show, but I don't really think it's about that. I think it's just a matter of like, even if Gizelle had to come to Candiace on the show, it'd have been better than already going around with this narrative. You know what I'm saying? I think that would have been okay, at least better. Yeah. But Candiace tells her she embarrassed herself. She didn't embarrass her. And, you know, they show a clip of Robyn who clearly says, you know, we are on this show. We should be open about our lives. And they go flashback. They fast forward to the story, the situation where she did not open about, what's it called? About Juan. And, you know, they show the clips. Wendy feels like she don't understand how Candiace can say that she is more loyal. She's more loyal than her. That's her way of inserting herself. And they basically say, well, Robyn said it's not a competition. And that Candiace says that they can all equally be friends. Like, just because she's really good with Wendy, in other words, like, I ain't got to be 100% in her ass like other girls. Give me your thoughts.
Shit. Okay, in regards to the JBL, the speaker and all of that, I do agree that Robyn could have still gone to Candiace on the show and it been filmed, but she could have just took her to the side and said some shit to her. What Robyn could have did was already told Gizelle about it and let Gizelle bring it up later on or whatever. I feel like if they are truly friends, you know, you gotta, because Robyn wouldn't have done that to Gizelle. You know what I'm saying? So Candiace has to understand that, oh, maybe we not as good of friends as I thought we were. Because it can't just go back to the, oh, well, we filming a show and everything has to be on the show. Clearly, everything does not have to be on the show, and you don't put everything on the show. For example, like your man allegedly paying for that hotel room and cheating on you. You decided you didn't want to show that. So I just thought that was stupid. And I agree with Candiace that Robyn made herself look stupid because she said the nicest things about more nice things about Robyn than she did about anybody. I think with Wendy, it was more so of, you said this is the loyal person. Loyalty, they don't do that. When you see how Robyn is loyal to Gizelle, she wouldn't have done that shit to Gizelle. So loyalty, they don't do that. I don't necessarily think it was Wendy, I guess, kind of fighting, saying, oh, you should be more loyal to me or closer to me. She was just calling it like, that girl really ain't your friend. And that's understandable.
I'm laughing at the comments.
Well, my thing about it is the fact that Robyn is constantly showing her hands. Because you're talking about, oh, I was in my feelings about how Candiace was treating me, but in the same breath, like, that's supposed to be your friend. And it really makes me cringe because I love Candiace. Everybody knows I love Candiace. Everybody knows I love Candiace. But I love Candiace, okay? But it makes me cringe that she really doesn't see these friendships on the way we see them, because it's clear as day that Robyn's not her friend outside of the show, or the strength of the relationship is so low that, you know what I'm saying, it's just not, they're not equally yoked. So it just makes me cringe that it's not, that their friendship is not equally yoked, because even if you felt like, okay, I'm not feeling how Candiace has been treating me on this trip, well, that's still your friend, and you didn't even take the time out to listen to the whole audio. You got a clip, got a cheap ass speaker, and then put it in the middle of the thing. The fact that she does not, that she's constantly trying to act like she doesn't understand Candiace's like thought process on that. It's just that's what I mean about playing in somebody's face. Like, quit playing in my face. Stop it. Stop before I hit you. So yeah, I just cannot deal with that. And Robyn's constantly just trying to talk her way out of stuff, and she's just like going in circles because you can't be nobody's friend. If I feel like you were talking about me, I'm gonna say it right then and there. If I feel like you were talking about me, because we're supposed to be better than that. But you're not gonna take our conversation to the middle of the lane and stomp your feet. That's not what's gonna happen. So that's why I just wish that Candiace really knew who her friends was. That's the only critique I have for her right now.
I will say, at this point, she's probably the only person on the cast that is, I guess, tried to be friends with everybody, even Ashley. I mean, she came in as friends. If you think about the cast thus far, I feel like she would have been okay with Mia too. If Mia wasn't trying to do what, they would have been okay. But Mia was trying to boost herself up. So is what it is. And even Gizelle, I think she was genuinely friends. I think she's friends with these people. I don't think they're necessarily friends with her, like somebody just said in the thing. I mean, Robyn, I do think Robyn and them have a friendship, but I mean, obviously her loyalty is to Gizelle. So it's only so much loyalty she's gonna have to her because Candiace is like at the end with Gizelle. You know what I'm saying? So that has to be awkward. I don't know.
And also one other thing, I do love the fact that every time Robyn says something stupid, production does a flashback and they drag her ass through the mud some more. Mm-hmm. I hope that she's at home and really thinking about what she has done on this show over the past 7 years. She deserves all the discipline she is getting.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Well, they take a break and they go to commercial. I thought the husbands were coming, but they weren't. They just had like a segment with them getting there, getting dressed. Wendy talking to Chris, and everybody talking to their husband. Everybody has a husband, or has a husband present.
Well,
needs to be true at once.
Can I go back real quick on something?
Go ahead.
I do want to say, I don't know if I'm childish or whatever, but I do feel like a little bit of a slight. I feel like if I was Wendy, I would feel slighted by the friendship and how much Candiace kind of, even though she's like, okay, it's okay to have different friends. I get that, but we're human and we see like there's a hierarchy in friendships. Mm-hmm. When you have like a group friendship. So I do feel like if I was Wendy, I would feel a little slighted because it's a constant thing to me. What I'm saying, how Robyn, has her loyalty to Gizelle over her all the time when those instances occur. So I do feel like sometimes I can be in that Wendy box because just like I always just want my friends to give me what I give them. And sometimes that's not feasible for them. But I wish that Big Bag Robyn, sidebar Robyn would just be honest and just kind of like I just wish that she would just not be so fake, honestly, because I really think that she could be a good friend because she really has role for Candiace. Even when it came back to the whole like, I heard Michael Darby say he would have sucked Ron's dick. Like she has had her back in certain instances, but I understand how Wendy felt by saying, but bitch, let me just let you know how that did make me feel like. Yeah. So I didn't.
Also look at, Candiace into it with Gizelle, but Wendy's into it with Robyn. So it's like there's that. I feel like that has an effect to it too. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, Wendy into it with Robyn and Gizelle because Gizelle made it clear she do not like her.
And we don't like her.
And we're gonna talk about that too. But let's get on with the next part. So the next part was essentially showing, I guess they wanted to show that Gizelle has things going on. We ain't see shit else than what we already saw. She had the live show. She had the procedure with her dwindling uterus. And it also focused on Karen basically saying that she steals shit. And I'm going to say this is probably my least favorite segment of the entire night just because I love Karen. But I do feel like her ass was lying. Even in her responses, I feel like, Andy was kind of being shady. But she just kind of just took it and ran with it. I mean, she says that, she thought about doing the candles before Wendy. She had been announced it. She didn't want to steal Wendy's thunder or fire. Her inspiration was Cara Burnett before saying Wendy Williams. Said she was gonna get Andy some tickets or something to her live show. And then they asked her about the Ladams, and the Ladams, they rise, honey, they rise. And that the Robins are just bored.
Oh, they are boring. Them Robins is boring, baby. Any Robins in the motherfucking comment section, y'all boring.
Big Rob.
Yeah, I agree. Dorian I love her, but she does lack.
You can't see me talking about you. No, just
but yeah, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. They really should just move Karen, swap her and Candiace. They could have
absolutely.
I get it, but they should have just swapped her. And I know that Karen's segments are coming because we still got Charisse, we still got her versus Mia, like all that's coming. But it's just like we see who was like clearly first chair here, and it's not Karen.
Yeah.
So, but in this segment, they talk about her uterus, right? And she gets emotional, and she says, "We'll talk about it later." And it says, "No, we're gonna talk about it right now." And I was like, "Ooh."
I said. Okay.
And so she basically explains the story about the procedure and the surgery. That it ended up being something 4 hours, it ended up being 8 hours, and it was a scare because her children were worried. Her sister wasn't getting updates, and she goes into a whole moment. Nobody really, I don't feel like anybody on the couch kind of really empathize with her for real. They always kind of, especially the ones that don't really care for her. They was just like, I like that she was trying to act like she really connected with the people about like with her story, but she really didn't, because it was one episode, and then they came back at the end with it. So realistically, I mean, I can't relate because I'm not a woman, but I don't really believe people were hitting her up saying, "Oh my God, what you're doing is so great," because we've seen this a million times before. Yeah. We've seen Cynthia go through it. If you're a Real Housewives fan, you would know. So she's not doing anything groundbreaking to me. I mean, it's definitely a serious thing, but did y'all have any tears for her? Did y'all feel anything for her when she talked about her story?
Well, she has 3 kids, so I mean, at the end of the day, it did what it was supposed to do.
Right.
And, she's 69 years old, so I would be wanting to get that motherfucker jumped out of me too. Now, let me calm down. I am a woman, and I don't have any, ill will towards it, but I don't really have no empathy. Okay, girl, drown it out. Now she, just make sure you got your hormones to get you some tweezers to get the rest, to get those hairs that's gonna come. But that's it. That's all I got. Good job. Congrats.
Tonio.
Sorry. Jasmine asked. So it was odd. I'm sure maybe at the end, some people possibly did reach out to her, with that finale card and everything. That is, very possible. I think she definitely tried her best, in that segment of the reunion to I'm gonna give you some emotion. I'm gonna show you that I'm a real person, that I can be human, that I do have feelings. I just think that it was almost like, even with that whole situation when she's sitting at the table with her daughters and they didn't understand what was going on, it was like, girl, this should have been kind of been put in throughout the entire season. When Cynthia had that situation to happen, that wasn't just a 1 episode thing. That was multiple episodes. That was part of her main storyline for that season, was her getting that taken care of. So it was just crazy. Even Portia in the past has had those, situations with fibroids and things like that. So it was odd, but it was almost like production was like, okay, we got to throw something personal in here, because Gizelle ain't really gave us nothing personal this season other than letting us film the twins' 16th birthday. I think Karen, no matter
right.
I think Karen, no matter what, Karen is not gonna let them people see her sweat. So even though you can prove that she done lied 42,000 times, and she just gonna be like, okay, whatever, yeah, well, that person was my, that is where I got the idea from. She should have stuck with Wendy Williams. I am glad that she didn't allow Andy to give Luann drunk ass no motherfucking kudos for that. Don't be trying to make it like that white woman was the first one to do that shit. Like, get the fuck on with it.
Not that white.
I thought that. I was like, Is that the only person you think of with a variety show? I mean, I get it. I guess he's relating it to Housewives, but
Yeah, I knew.
I'm
I
sure
feel
she ain't watching New York or don't know. Really, probably know who the Countess is. To be honest, let's be clear.
yeah. But but Karen, I think Karen finds a way to kind of roll with it, and she does find a way to talk her. I don't know if she's talking herself out of it, but I think people just kind of like, okay, Karen, we know you stole the idea. Like, just give her a pass and keep it moving. I feel like as long as she ain't saying, you know, she was gonna rape somebody was gonna rape her or something like that, then we good on that. I'm okay with a little lie of where she got the idea from. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Gizelle needs to worry about why her children don't know the reproductive system. And that's another thing that just really shocked me and put my wig to the back. Because these motherfuckers is about they like to be out of high school. So that really did shock me. It was like talking about your labia? Like, no, bitch. Like that shit was really shocking. I'm sorry.
I'll say this. I mean, the way she was speaking, I do believe they may have been scared, but she was like, my babies. They're not babies. Let's be clear. I get that they're her babies, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That whole segment, I was just like, okay, at least give me a tear or something. And the way she tried to move past it, it just didn't work out. So neither here or there. But to kind of go more into it, they do talk about Gizelle being overly aggressive on getting people to share stuff, but she doesn't share her own. And she says, like they always say, it's not her fault. It's not my fault. Production's not choosing the scene. So, in my eyes, you know what I would have expected with this uterus situation. I would have expected similar to what Wendy did. You know, we saw her in the. I ain't got to see the IV bag, but I just feel like we should have seen something. You know, it would have been they could have added the moment where shoot, it's the 5th hour and Gizelle is still gone under. I don't know anything just to kind of add to her story, but we didn't get that. And she's saying that it's production didn't add that, or maybe they didn't film it. I don't know. But everybody talks about it. All the girls disagree with her because she says that if they don't want to talk about it, they ain't got to. That's a fucking lie. You literally were trying to make Karen talk to Charisse for like 5-10 episodes, literally this season. And anybody that don't want to talk about something, you're always the person to bully them into basically talking or getting a reaction. Hell, even to the point of, as they said, pushing Monique into the damn girl seasons ago. So clearly you are always producing in this case. And so Mia, I guess this is a moment where she's like, oh, you know what, Gizelle, it's a bad person. She says, yeah, what about that? You know, is this what cancer looks like? And I'm like, oh, now you want to bring it up as an issue. Now, interesting. So I'm like, in my mind, I said, well, when was this film? Because it seemed out of place. There was a moment where she was so supportive of Gizelle, but then in this moment, it's almost like she had more to say. Yeah. Like she was like seeing her, maybe something happened. So I think that was like edited in place differently. I'm not sure.
Or maybe I just think that Mia only gives a fuck about herself. It only whenever it just benefits her. She's like, oh yeah, bitch, you was bullying me because what does cancer look like? You know what I'm saying? That's how I got it. But you know, whatever. Mia, Mia's Mia.
But one thing she says before she ends it out is that what she's not going to do is share things with people that she don't like. And she points at Wendy, and Wendy's like, I don't like you either. And I'm just like, that's very interesting to see. But okay, give me your thoughts.
So I think with Gizelle, yes, you know, she has the right to ask and they have the right to deny it. I think the issue is that she will continue to push and push and push till it gets aggressive. And even if they still do not answer, she will then turn that into a storyline some type of way, like, oh, well, you not answering the question or you not wanting to talk to this person, that must means that they really know all your tea or they know everything that you've done and blah, blah, blah. She did it with the whole Karen and Charisse thing. So her stating that is a lie, but we've, come to the conclusion that Gizelle is a liar. She's probably a bigger liar than Mia and Karen combined. So what they were saying was absolutely correct. She will push and push and push. And if she doesn't get the reaction that she wants or the storyline that she was pushing for, she'll kind of create her own narrative, or she'll add sauce onto stuff or whatever it is. She'll make up shit to try and make it seem more interesting than what it really was. And her, you know, kind of turn into Wendy and like, I don't like you. I thought, I don't know, it was odd because I'm like, damn, I knew she really disliked Monique, but I don't know if she ever even did that to, you know, Monique. So that was kind of odd to me. I'm like, Wendy hurt you that bad when she read the shit out of you that you were just like, I ain't never talking to her again. I'm never gonna like her again, which is gonna be odd for the show if they come back, especially if Gizelle comes back without, if Robyn doesn't come back next season, which I hope she does not. That's gonna be very odd for them as a group, because it's like, it makes it less interesting when Gizelle has something she's not going to invite Wendy, or vice versa. It just starts getting very choppy, and that's not what we want to see.
Yeah. This I will say, this is where, you know, I always say on Housewives, like when it gets to the point to where it kind of ruins the show, because I get it every once in a while, but when somebody genuinely does not like somebody, it's kind of hard to move forward in that group, you know. But now, child, they are disliking each other bad. So, Jazz.
When it comes to Gizelle, if she was more open and honest about her feelings in the beginning of situations, then stuff like this wouldn't just seem like out of nowhere. I believe that Wendy hurt her feelings real bad when she cussed her out, arrayed her up and down, and side to side and around and around. So I do feel like, excuse me, I'm not as sick as Cortez, my bad. But my
How I get in it.
I'm sorry, I had to dress it. I think that Gizelle was really hurt, but she does have like a really strong poker face when it comes to that. I don't think that people are like, I don't think that people really just know what her real issue is with Wendy, because she's never really just said it. She's just pointing to her like, I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't know where she's getting all these balls from, but okay, girl, maybe it's the dress. But outside of that, I mean, I don't really understand it, but you don't really have to explain it. But what I will say about Gizelle, how she did how the Sharice and Cameron thing went down, she pushed that. She was constantly pushing Candiace and Ashley. She's constantly pushing. She was actually pushing Wendy in the moment to be okay with her and the situation at hand after the fact. So I just feel like just because Wendy didn't, bow down and kiss her ass in the moment, she's like, okay, I'm done with it. But I think that Gizelle is a bully. Whatever Wendy said Gizelle did, she did that shit. And I think that, there's jealousy afoot. But don't get me started, Don't get me started.
I will say this too, and I mentioned it in our chat earlier. So the whole thing last year when they were wherever they were, and Wendy went off on Gizelle, allegedly there was a lot more that happened. They said that scene was actually very long, and what we saw was like a small percentage of what went down, to the point to where they had to cut things that could not be seen on TV to protect some of the girls. So the real reason, like I said, I think that Wendy got into her ass so bad last year. We saw some of it, but more was said to where it's like she don't like her or whatever. But she asked for it, and so did Robyn. This was the same moment when Robyn was fingering herself on national television. But that thing. Okay, so let's divert to Mia and Wendy. And this segment, I broke it up into two because it was so long as to how they went around and so many different things. Essentially, in this segment, I don't want to spend all the time at the beginning, is Wendy and the restaurant and the Peter situation with Mia. Mia talks about her relationship with Peter. She says that it is not that her and G did not. I guess that wasn't his girlfriend, but I don't know what she was saying. Mia just be lying. So I was kind of lost there. But they asked her about why she threw the drink. In Mia's mind, she threw the drink because, Wendy was talking all this mess and it was built up, which, you know what? I do believe it was built up because she already didn't like her. She can't keep up with Wendy's mouth. So I get it. That's the real reason why. But Wendy is like irritated because in this moment, she's still not taking any accountability. Mm-hmm. And so Mia deflects and says that apparently Wendy gave Peter the cookie at the bar one in Baltimore. She saw it on camera. and that's how she knows she got proof. Mia, not Mia. Wendy says that Mia is fucking for lobsters. I'm just like, is this season 1 Potomac? Where is the class? This is definitely. If we come from season 1 to now, you'd be like, what the hell? Are we grown ass women talking like this? Says my girl Kim Fields. And so in this moment, this was interesting because they confront and ask Robyn about calling Wendy antagonistic. And Robyn says that, of course, they show a clip and showing her being antagonistic and being in somebody else's face. Andy does. I say, cool, come on, Andy. But basically, she says that she did not want to see them fight. But they show a clip and they show Robyn basically saying, like, listen, if she came and hit you in the face right now, like, because you're talking, it is what it is, but don't fight her right now. Fight her off camera. And I thought that was very interesting. I was like surprised they showed that because to me, that's a fourth wild bullshit. Like, let's get off the camera and then fight, especially on the reality TV. I don't know. Y'all can tell me how y'all thought, but to finish this little part off, Wendy turns to Robyn and says, like, it's crazy that you would, still side with dumbass Mia. Gizelle says that's rude. I'm like, Gizelle, girl, stop. Mia still feels like she was justified in doing what she did, but her timeline is off. So give me y'all thoughts on this scene, and we go to the next one.
Fuck Mia. Mia is like I've already said it so many times all of the season. This is the Mia cabaret. She is a strip hoe. She has a strip hoe mentality. So she gonna think somebody's talking about her and then gonna get up and throw a drink and think it's justified. But in the grand scheme of it, she done brought her Bigfoot ass up to Potomac. And she needs to have some fucking cool. There was nothing right about what she did. And the fact that they're all still trying to dance around it, it's just, again, playing in somebody's face. Mia thought she heard somebody saying some shit that is probably true, got offended, and then showed her motherfucking big, wide back ass. So,
I'm so glad my back ain't wide because
now, honey, broad shoulder here now, but you cannot beat me. It's okay.
I think it's crazy that Mia's not taking any ownership. Like, even if Wendy did say X, Y, and Z before she threw the drink, which we know Wendy didn't, you still came to that table and started with her about a situation that you didn't know anything about and that you were incorrect about. So I don't get how Mia feels like she was justified in that. Even after watching that scene, you can clearly see that that's not how it went down. That was really, really crazy to me. And Robyn, okay, Wendy's being antagonistic and she's saying X, Y, and Z. And then she's saying, but if she come over here because you talking and she punch you in the mouth, then don't fight her on camera. I don't want you to fight on camera. Nah, bitch, well, you need to be telling your friend, you was wrong for throwing it in her face. You started this, but you weren't doing that. Instead of you holding your friend accountable for being aggressive towards.
They weren't friends, child. She ain't friends with Mia.
Well, you know what I mean. Or
I know. Yeah.
Instead of you holding her accountable, you still telling me that I'm being antagonistic. I've earned the right at this point to be antagonistic because this person has attempted to attack me twice. So I can say whatever I want to say because I know that I can't beat their ass like I want to. So I'm going to say whatever it is that I want to say. And you can't tell me that I need to shut up just in case they come over here and hit me. Now I got to fight them. No, you tell them that they was wrong for doing that shit from the very beginning.
Right.
It's, to me, in this scene, what I didn't like was Robyn alluding to Wendy being weak, because the statement of basically what she was saying was, you're doing all that talking, so if she pop you, it's warranted.
Right.
And I'm just like, for one, like we're saying, she didn't start this whole thing. Yes, she was talking, but she was defending herself in a moment where this person, aka Mia, was coming at her in a way that she didn't like, right? And so when Robyn made the statement about, if she would have hit you, like, girl, this is reality. This is the fucking streets. You know what I'm saying? And even seeing that scene just takes me back to season 5. And it's just like, looking at that, people supported Monique because they felt like Candiace was all doing all this or antagonizing her or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
But even in this moment, you know, to me, I wish that Robyn would have just said, because she did say that her and Wendy were not in a good place then. So it's interesting she's saying, I don't like you. Same way that Gizelle is saying as well to Wendy. They don't like her. So they felt like whatever it was justified. Yeah, she gonna say, I didn't want you to fight. But it came down to me. What I saw was that, girl, I didn't want you to get popped by my friend because she would have popped
Right.
you.
And I just think that's just so funny because although Big Bad Robyn likes to walk up on people, she ain't never swinging with her motherfucking lockjaw ass. She ain't never swinging on nobody. So I just don't understand where she's talking about. Okay, but if you're gonna fight that big bitch, when have you swung on somebody? Now I don't particularly like Monique, but she had that umbrella up on her neck, and she didn't do a motherfucking thing. So it's just so funny how Robyn is just like the dictator because she is big bad, big stepping, big broad shoulder, burly ass Robyn. People are gonna look at her to know because she's aggressive as fuck. So,
let me tell you something. The little Robyns are not happy with you right now. Okay.
There's only one in there, child.
The little Robyns are not happy with Jasmine right now. So listen,
I'm asleep. Okay. You know,
I ain't gonna let y'all jump her though. So. Okay, but so in this moment, this is the second part of it. So in this moment, Robyn says she feels like Karen should have stood up. They said that earlier. I don't understand. I guess it was because she was in the middle. I don't understand why she was the only person that should have done anything. It's like they're expecting this from Karen. Karen says she can't fight. Okay, she ain't finna get involved. That lady she is up there in age. She don't want to get hurt. She moving. So I get that. Karen was like, girl, don't bring me in it. Stop gaslighting. And we like gaslighting. But she meant to say, adding fuel to the fire. Yeah. Essentially, they correct her on that. But y'all know Karen ain't got, according to Wendy, nan degree. So sometimes, she's just gonna be a little off. And then not saying she gotta have one, but still, that's what Wendy said. But they talk about Robyn being aggressive to Wendy, the whole Charisse holding her back. Robyn says that she meant that Charisse didn't have to hold her back, as in like she didn't need to because I wasn't going to do anything. Not that she didn't do that at all. That's what she said. I was like, good save, Robyn.
It wasn't good. She's still a liar. Add Robyn.
She's a liar, but they're using semantics a lot on this, and that's where they be like, girl, you can have it, but you still wrong. But they turn to Ashley and they asked Ashley about her flip-flopping about the whole Monique situation, to where she wrote a statement about Monique, but for Mia, she wasn't here for it. Ashley says that when Monique was around, they was kind of ice her out. They was calling her aggressive, and that was my friend. And then in this moment, she said Mia was not my friend, essentially, but nobody held her feet to the fire. So she felt like it wasn't right, and that's why she changed her stance on the violence. And Gizelle is asked the same question, but Gizelle says that the difference is Candiace got beat up.
Right. That was funny.
She said she got beat up, and this was a glass of water, so they're not the same thing. And also, I just don't like this girl. I don't like Wendy. That's what she says. I'll stop there. Pass it to y'all.
Giselle is missing a uterus. And she has the audacity to even sit up here and act like she's not of the age to have common sense. Like, you have three little women in your life, and you're thinking that it's okay for you to tell them, okay, well, if you don't like the girl, it's okay for someone to bully her and get beat up and she can go commit suicide, but it's okay, you ain't like her. Like, bitch, quit playing it. You have women that look up to you. You have grown ass children, little children, but they're grown at the same time. But she just doesn't have any proof, and she's trying to be mad. She's trying to stand her ground, but I don't get that. I don't know if she thought she ate it. I don't know what it was, but you didn't eat that. It was terrible. And it further lets me know that motherfucking light-skinned bitches can run around rapid, doing anything they want to do, and you will sit there and be friendly. But somebody could tell you about yourself and say that you have a relationship to hold water, and you're okay with someone physically attacking them without any justification or being warranted about it. So Gizelle, again, although she's up in the age enough to have her uterus taken out, she's still very low class and low brow. Thank you.
The other Jasmine said, "What a first lady," and I agree.
You want that type of lady to be over your fucking Bible study, your vocational school? No, bitch. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that when she said again, I don't care because I don't like her. That was a very loaded. I thought it was very loaded, to be honest. It was just like, ooh, this is. I mean, it's nothing wrong with the fact that you can't even like at least have like a moral compass to be like, okay, like yeah, I can see that one. She basically said, you can do what you want to do to her because I don't like her. Do what you want to do to her, and that's just like, damn, okay. But hey, what she said, Antonio.
It was that, and I agree with that, Cortez. It's really crazy that she couldn't even say, you know what, Mia shouldn't have done that, because it's like, yeah, go ahead, beat her head in, kill her, stomp her, whatever it is.
Do whatever.
I don't give a fuck because I don't like this girl. I don't even want her sitting on this couch next to me. Because we can all remember when they was coming to sit down, they said Wendy was going to be on the end. She was like, Wendy, why is she going to be sitting there? So she didn't even want the girl sitting on the damn sofa at the end, not even right next to her. So that was crazy. I do think that Ashley kind of said the same thing that Gizelle said, where Gizelle was like, I don't like her. Ashley was just better able to articulate her thoughts in that manner. And stating that, hey, well, Monique was my friend, and I feel like everybody isolated her out. She said it without saying me and Candiace wasn't that cool at that time. But she was like, Monique was my friend. I felt like everybody iced her out and held her feet to the fire. Nobody held Mia big sailboats to the fire. Nobody held those yachts to the fire. Nobody held those ships to the fire. So it was, in that moment, I was kind of like, okay, Ashley, sometimes you can make a little sense and you can show people that you do have a brain. Not when it comes to Michael, but in other
I have to say, not when it comes to the damn divorce, because
not when it comes to Michael, but
brain dead. But you know what? I feel, but you know what? I feel. I'm gonna say this: Ashley be practicing.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Because even with the colorism thing, she gave many statements before the reunion on the colorism. She tries to kind of prepare herself. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree, and somebody said in the chat as well that, Dolphin said Ashley didn't condone what Mo did, but she didn't believe she was there to go to jail. I can see that because they were friends. I can see that. And so, I mean, hers made a lot of sense. Gizelle did not. And they're like twice the age. So I don't know. Gizelle, work on it, girl. I don't know, baby.
She needs to work on it. That's just who she is. She doesn't care to work on it. She's been who she is for so long. She's gotten away with it. Only somebody needs to just go around and round it up on her motherfucking neck, and that's when she's gonna get it with somebody pop her just like Candiace got popped. So
Gizelle's gotten away with this stuff now for 7 seasons. She's never really been held accountable. This is like the first reunion where Andy really is asking her, in my opinion, some tough questions. And I went back and watched some of the other reunions from the earlier seasons. She's never really been put in the hot seat like that. So
I agree. To close out this scene, Wendy has like, I ain't seen no tears, but that's my girl still. She has like a little breakdown moment. Bit. Oh, is she okay? Maybe I gotta zoom in and see a little more. But she said it took everything out of me not to beat the shit out of you. And I was just like, this show is so ghetto now. Oh my God.
I loved it.
But I was like, okay, I'm still gonna watch. I'll be here season 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's just, I just think about where the show was. I mean, is Wendy and Mia declassing the show? I don't know. I'm not saying they are, but I'm still gonna watch regardless. Me too. But I thought that was real. I do wish you would have went ahead and did it. But like I said, Wendy is a true professional for real in life. Yeah. And sometimes I always wonder how the hell is she still employed? Because the things that she has done and said on this show, I just don't know. You know, if I would keep her on my damn TV screen talking about the damn world, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's
I
just
guess they're able to separate the two. They're able to
I like
separate
that.
Wendy, the entertainer, on the
I
reality
appreciate,
television
and
show.
that's why I appreciate. I'm glad that they still do that because
Yeah.
you in this world, you just feel like, you know, child, you post the wrong thing on social media, your job finding, they're like, you gotta go. So being on a reality TV show and the stuff she been doing, drinks and titties and, you know, eating cacas, whatever, I applaud her. So I thought that statement
Eating
was real.
cacas. I live.
Cacas. And Gizelle, although she doesn't have a uterus, she tries to interject by saying that weren't Wendy and Mia bumping vaginas. I'm like, you need to stay out of the vagina conversation. Let it be with people that still have theirs. And I hope that was not offensive. But leave that alone, Gizelle. Leave the JJs alone. All right, so then, hey, come on now. So, and then we get a colorism segment, right? And of years and years, they've been talking about colorism for a while, and basically, this is the first time where he admits, Andy, that he is not equipped as a white man to host it. They wanted to get somebody to do it, but they decided to let the ladies talk about it beforehand. And Sister Dilla Bassett is the person that is leading it. And so, you know, she starts out by talking about, starts out by saying that she doesn't feel like anyone a colorist, but she reads out the colorism definition. All the girls agree. And she talks about how it's an issue when she gets emotional, whether it's crying or getting enraged, whatever. Meanwhile, you know, if somebody like Robyn, they show the umbrella scene again and the restaurant scene, does it, and it's just held to a different standard. Robyn says, I've been called aggressive too. And Candiace is like, well, yeah, today, but before today, you've kind of been able to get away with a lot of shit, which is very true.
Yeah.
Gizelle doesn't understand, what does Candiace crying have to do with the color of her skin. I'm like, okay, you're the problem. Ashley acknowledges that the women, her, Mia, Gizelle, Robyn, they do have a privilege because they are light skinned. And I guess that's her way of saying, "Ooh, girl, let me get in and get out because I ain't got time." That's what I'm saying. Ashley be prepping. She be prepping.
I ain't mad at that though.
I ain't mad. At least I wish she would have prepped her life and she would be leaving this marriage with some damn money. Right. But hey, whatever. She prepped for something.
Right.
And then Mia says, "Well, we all black, and my little daughter is brown. She black, and let's just all do better."
That's what we all have work to do.
We all got work to do. I'm just like, okay.
I mean, it's me. She about slow as a box of rocks. So.
Yeah, Vanessa, I will say this before I pass it to y'all. You can't discuss colorism in 3 minutes. I agree. I wonder how long it really was.
Yeah.
Maybe they should give us, they said next week was an hour and 90 or hour 90 minutes. Maybe it should have been a little longer. It should have been too drawn out, but I definitely agree it was kind of in and out. But give me your thoughts.
Yeah, it was definitely in and out. I really thought it was going to be a more in-depth or longer conversation. Like, I mean, they gave us like for real, like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
After you can see a couple of the people who are the main culprits and the main problems, which are Robyn and Gizelle, because instead of them really trying to listen and understand how, you know, the darker hue women may feel, they began to make excuses. You know, they weren't really trying to hear, you know, what they have to say. And what does, you know, being emotional have to do with it? And, you know, Robyn saying what she said. I like, even though Ashley's answer, it was definitely prepped and it was prepared. I don't know if she knew that was going to come up, but sis said, hey.
Well, he said that he talked to all of them.
That is right. That is right.
So
she was like, sit down.
They all had a chance to get something together. I say that.
She said, sit down, Dean and Dan, or whatever them little boys' names is. And she said, what this sound like to y'all? And she read off the answer and clap. She did a good job preparing that. I'm glad that Karen spoke up, even though we know she owned the plantation. But when she first started, I was like, what the hell she going with this?
But I look, she got the key to it or something. The key to the city and the plantation, right? Or this.
She reeled it back on the end as to why, and she was like, "Do you guys hear her? She doesn't, you guys need to understand." So I appreciate Karen in that moment, even though Candiace had to help her with a couple of words here or there. That's okay. Jamie is the wordsmith in the lean. He got to help me with a couple of words every once in a while too. But I do like how once everybody said their piece, Wendy ended it by saying, you guys have to stop though, the dog whistling. And I hope that they understood that, instead of they understood that they just.
Now, I feel like Robyn said, "What dogs?" And then just said, "We ain't got no dogs. What the dogs said?"
Like, for example, Ashley calling her aggressive when they were arguing and ferocious and things like that. Like, you guys have to really, stop doing that, because it's not being done it's only been done to certain people on the cast. And I wish they would see that. And I'm sure that they do. They just would never admit it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Of course, I agree with everyone else saying that the conversation should have lasted longer than that. And they probably did need a moderator for that. But I'm glad that they're taking those steps forward. Taking those steps forward to kind of get that conversation out of there. I do agree with some of the people in the comments that I think Gizelle is the only person that actually really shows colorism, like, traits to me as a person of a darker hue. That's the vibe I get from her. Robyn, what I can't stand in any situation when someone's telling you how they feel, that you're constantly like, but, bitch, please. It's very clear that you've been here for this many seasons, and just now you've been called aggressive. Although you have been doing aggressive shit since you stepped on this fucking show. I just constantly feel like the whole plan in my face, like, oh, but what you talking about? What does crying have to do with that? Like, Gizelle, it's just, just a lack of accountability. It's just the lack of just trying to really just say, okay, yes, we might not have a strong level of colorism within our group, but we know that people are watching our show and other people are letting Ashley run rapid to everybody. Since she's been on the show, Ashley has been despicable, but she has not gotten the same type of shit that Candiace or Wendy has had in their shorter time on this show. So it just gives you the it's just kind of like just walking around like with that type of shit on your shoulder. People might think you have a chip. But when you're constantly trying to explain to somebody like this is blatant in your face shit, like that they treated me, because I'm dark skinned, they're gonna call me ghetto, they're gonna call me this, because I'm reacting a certain way. It's just the fact that they're not being receptive of it, and they just want to do like the butts and stuff like that, just further lets me know that they know exactly what they're doing, and they're just trying to brush it off as well. Well, this is just your personality. Ashley loves to say that, oh, Candiace is, but what if people just don't like her personality? Bitch, what if nobody likes your Bob? Like, fuck Ashley. Like, the whole colorism thing, even the people in these fucking group, in these comments that have been on just watching the show the whole time, still gonna maintain their stance. But all I can do is let you know, don't play in my face when it comes to colorism, because I don't play like that. If you like, I am all about diversity and inclusion, okay? But I definitely am not going to sit up here and act like, I have some type of privilege. My mother was extremely fair-skinned. She was like about nice daddy. And we had to have those conversations because I was insecure about looking like her, but not looking like her. So you have to maintain, what I'm saying, even though this is Real Housewives, these are all strong-minded, smart, intelligent women in the Black community. So they have to hold their accountability and their responsibility that comes from it. I don't think that Real Housewives of Atlanta has always have shown that, but I do think that over the time they've started to realize their place in our community, and they're starting to be better. And I just hope that Real Housewives of Potomac starts to follow suit.
Yeah, and Jasmine, I'm glad you mentioned that about Ashley, because even watching it again earlier today, I was like, when Ashley went around and said, yeah, I've argued with this person, I've argued with everyone. And I was like, Ashley, why are you trying to say why you're not a part of that type of conversation?
You're proving
just
that
kind of prove that it does exist, because you've said that you argue with everyone and nobody's ever called you aggressive or
Right.
ghetto
We
or
have
hood
said
rat or
those same
anything.
things. We've
Right.
said that, like, to be honest, her and Candiace ain't too far from each other, child. I mean, I'm just saying when it comes to art, they have had their issues. I mean, I do think Ash is a little more malicious, but there was a point where Candiace clearly was trying to get back at Ashley. I mean, it was no secret, and so I agree when she said that. I was like, girl, you kind of. Yeah, you kind of this girl. Shut up with
kind
your
of validated that whole point of what some of the people been saying about that colorism existing. So.
Right, with your damn Chucky hair.
It's just a constant feeling that you cannot be yourself. Like, I'm quirky. I like to talk my shit. I like to be a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that I have to always constantly code switch if y'all was to see me in my professional way, y'all would be like, okay, bitch, you are fake as fuck. Like, you would not even recognize who I am. But because I want to be in a certain point in my life, so I have to kind of blend in and have to camouflage myself. And that's just not really fair. People like Gizelle can go in being exactly who they are, and that's okay because they look more pleasant. Me being, maybe, what I'm saying, I could be just as smart with my degrees and be rough and tough and tumble. As soon as I motherfucking say, okay, maybe wait a minute, girl. Okay, wait a minute, why are you getting so aggressive? You can't really be yourself being even in our own community. So when it comes to the colorism shit, y'all can have it, but don't play in my face.
And from there, we gonna take don't play in Jazz's face. Well, on my face either. I mean, I ain't got time. My face. Okay, so like I said, I do agree. The segment, it was kind of short. I wish they would give us like a little more, just to see what else they would have said. Because I feel like the women, it was a segment to where each woman could say one thing. That's kind of what it felt like. Every person said one thing, then move to the next person. You know what I'm saying? Candiace kind of led it. But I to be honest, they could have sent Andy as on to the back. But I guess he wanted to figure out about the people too. I get it. So he can learn.
I just want to listen and learn.
Right. Listen and you ain't trying to listen or learn, god damn it. You trying to be nosy, get out of black women's business. He always in black women's business. So to close this reunion out, Jacqueline is there. This is Asia's favorite girl, child. I know Asia actually thinks she's so dusty and whatever, but Jacqueline came ready. Jacqueline went to David's bridal. She got the first group that she saw. She went to the mall and got them to crimp her hair. She's there, right? And they show like the whole like montage of their relationship. We know that she started out defending Jacqueline, and then it went to using her deodorant and toiletries, and then it went to alleged that she was messing with G, and then that he bought her a car, and then it turned into a whole thing about the kids and the nanny, and then it ended with Jacqueline sitting at the bar by herself because nobody was looking up and move her ass. But in this scene, she came ready, and Jacqueline says that she feels like Mia wants to put her beneath her, like that's what she wants to do. And Mia does say that she felt supported, so I'm glad that she could at least acknowledge that Jacqueline supported her, but she feels like she was overwhelmed in having to support Jacqueline. And I was confused because I was like, well, what we saw was you give her some deodorant and you brought her around the scene. I mean, I don't know what else there was. Jacqueline talks about her sister being her nanny, basically her giving her sister to her to help her kids. And Andy asked a very good question, I thought, because he asked Mia, well, when you were growing up with her, did you feel like you were less than to her? Because I thought it was a valid question, considering that it was her mom, you know what I'm saying, that took her in, but she says no, she didn't feel that way. Jacqueline family does not like, obviously, what Mia has done. I don't blame it, because we know outside of this text that she mentions, there was a whole situation about the man, her boyfriend or whatever, fighting or whatever it was. I don't know what it was. But they talk about, the mom not knowing the group text, and baby, they start pulling out their receipts. They're like, you want to start? Like, you want to start? Oh, I want to start. I'm like, oh, here they go again. Because last time, Jacqueline, no shade, when you said you wanted to start, you was crying. So I don't know if Jacqueline wants to start. I'm not saying she should be scared of Mia, but Mia is a low down, dirty, whatever. Yeah. So she gonna do whatever and say whatever to get what she wants, the point across. So What are y'all thoughts? This actually to be continued. It picks up next week, but based on what we see in this episode, how y'all feel about Jacqueline and versus Mia and like the situation right now?
I feel like Jacqueline, I don't understand, like, they've been friends for damn near 30 years and just kind of throwing that away. I get that people kind of grow apart and eventually go their separate ways, but typically that happens after like a few years. 30 years, that's a long ass time. It's like we get to that point, then we kind of stuck together. We just gonna have to figure it out and make this shit work. I think that Jacqueline was truly hurt by how the sequence of events played out over the season, because it did seem like it just kind of came out of nowhere. And I think that Mia, she definitely wanted to show that, this is kind of like my plus, like she treated Jacqueline as her plus one. It's my plus one. You know, I take her everywhere. She used my deodorant, my soap, my tampon. Like, she used my husband. She used everything I got, and I'm sick of her ass. That's kind of what she was showing, that Jacqueline ain't got shit. It's kind of like, that's my, kind of like my charity case is really what I got from her the entire season. The whole thing with their receipts, it looked like Mia had printed off some text messages, so I'm not sure about that. Even though he pulled them out of
text message, child.
He pulled them out of Pandora's box. I don't know about that, because we seen what happened the last time somebody came and brought receipts, and we ain't see her no more, and we loved her. And then for Jacqueline to be pulling out hers, I'm really kind of thinking now, like, what kind of motherfucking receipts could y'all have that we probably haven't seen? Because y'all been posting so much shit online, over the past, and when y'all fell out, I don't get what additional they could have. Now, I do like the fact that that Jacqueline kind of shut Mia the fuck up when she said, "Oh, you kind of was worried about, what I had going on in your business over here in shambles." Mia has gotten humble. That's probably the quickest housewife humbling I think I've seen, from her first season where she was the big bank CEO.
Was it 440,000? What was it she was making?
She was making over $400,000 a year, and these girls ain't got no businesses. They ain't got nothing.
Low budget.
This low budget, and now look at her, ain't got no businesses. She living off of her motherfucking little Bravo check. They living off her little Bravo check, and that what little money they got in their savings. The girl could go apply. She could go apply for food stamps in Section 8, like she was saying Jacqueline needed to do, because she's unemployed, and also Gordon is unemployed. They are. She's not working right now. She ain't made no money this year.
I mean, other than for Bravo, and
Oh well, yeah. I guess the little money she'd have made so far, but I'm sure her second season paycheck ain't that huge. We know how they do.
Ooh. Well, this seems like a typical fight in the Players Club between Ronnie and Diamond.
Not the
What the fuck?
Not Mia's Cabaret. They fight. It is giving you know what? Wendy's also in there too. Wendy in there too. Fight. Right. Mia's Cabaret.
Mia's Cabaret. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Mia, I have a 30-year friend since I was 14 years old. I would never in my life do anything like that. Right. So, like I said, it's just, I mean, it's sad now. Jacqueline, she is a dust bunny. Now, going back into the episodes or the reviews, I know, Cortez, you were saying like you really did feel as though Mia was getting exhausted or overwhelmed by the numerous times Jacqueline was needing something, the neediness and stuff like that. I do kind of feel like maybe she might have been telling a little bit of the truth when she was like, coming around was overwhelming. But I don't think there's nothing that I can never tell a friend of 10, 15 years. Me and Cortez have been friends almost 20 years at this point, like 15. All this time, and you haven't been able to learn how to communicate with anybody, just shows the level of friendship that you really have. So I really do kind of feel bad for Jacqueline, but in the grand scheme of it, you've been this person's friend, and she's probably done what she's done to you to other people. Yeah. So now that it's your turn, it's giving me Contessa and Heavenly vibes, kind of just bringing that back. Like, now that it's your turn, you can't ask us to be empathetic and sympathetic to you. So, I mean, you've been friends with her for a long time, and this is not the first time she's shown you who she was. You should have believed it the first time, sweet. Yeah. And that's what I got for you, Jacqueline. Hey, next time if you come back, though, get that side tooth fixed, baby. Because you know
go to Heavenly Smiles.
Sorry.
You do a payment plan.
Yeah, just get that side.
They take Klarna.
Klarna.
They take Klarna over there. Listen, if you take Klarna, I can shop with you all day, baby. My limit is high.
You want some afterpay for a overlay.
we're gonna get to be continued of this next week. I mean, we'll see what does Jacqueline have to say. I will say she came ready. She was definitely ready. So we'll talk about this next week on the last part in part 3. We do have a call in the queue, so I'm gonna go ahead and get them on. But before I do that, shout out to everybody that's been watching tonight. It was up to like 95 people watching. So make sure. I hope that when I get off this live, there's like at least 95 likes. Hope it's y'all seen Sass K talking about it. Y'all seen listen, like damn. And stop beating up on TKC. Listen, we don't want violence. I don't want people to say that TKC got beat up versus a drink throw. I don't want
people's face. We done warned him. In our face.
I say it every week. We love TKC. Okay. So with that being said,
we is a stretch for the most part.
What this square right here, what I mean, I can't speak for the one down there or the one over there.
No,
I'm just playing.
No. Antonio just said, I know of Claudia. All right. So we got a call in the queue. Like the video, subscribe, and our caller for today is going to be Tawana. What's going on, Tawana? How you doing?
Hey guys.
Hey Tawana.
Hey. I just wanted to say a few things. I'll make it really quick. This episode was a little tough to watch. I didn't like how the girls were treating Wendy. Gizelle has some serious issues. Like, she needs therapy. I wonder if she ever got therapy after her divorce with her husband, because she is like really damaged.
I think when you go to the mental institution, allegedly they give you therapy too. I'm sure.
It's my same thing.
But has it been confirmed that she actually went there, or is that alleged?
It's alleged. It's definitely alleged.
So I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna stick beside her.
Yeah, and I almost want Dr. Wendy to leave the show, not because I don't like her, but because these women are dangerous and they are committed to her taking her out of her character. Like, Mia already threw the drink on her. Robyn walked up on her when they were at the yoga studio, and Gizelle put her hand in her face not once but twice during this reunion. They could have had another Portia and Kenya situation if Wendy didn't have herself under control.
It's true.
So I like Wendy, but when you dealing with people that don't have much to lose, they'll try and take everything from you when you have everything to lose. And yeah, and I don't. That whole colorist conversation was a letdown. It's like, why would you ask colorists how to talk about colorists? That's like asking a racist person how we should celebrate Black History Month. Like, they're not going to want to celebrate it. So, of course, the colorists aren't going to want to talk about it. They shouldn't even have asked the girls. Andy should have surprised them. He should have just said, okay, there's been a lot of chatter on the internet about this topic. I feel like I'm not equipped, so I'm going to excuse myself for the stage, and I'm going to bring in, and then he should have brought in somebody and just surprised the girls with the person to moderate it. Mia is, I feel really bad for Jacqueline, and I understood what Mia was saying. It was like, I feel like Mia has this thing where she's like, well, I was the foster child and people should help me and people should do for me, but she doesn't do and support other people. Like, I felt Jacqueline, she's like, I let you have my sister as as your nanny because you don't have that support. And then you're gonna and then Mia turned around and was like, well, she needs to find her own nanny. She had a nanny and she gave her nanny to you to help you because you don't have that family support.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mia didn't say this this comment. She said it during the season, but she said something like when they got off the plane in Miami. No, not Miami. Where they went, Jamaica or something. She was like, her kids are not my responsibility, and you wasn't Jacqueline's mother responsibility, but her mother took you in and took care of you.
I think about that a lot. To one, I started to cut you off. It's that the fact that she really was taking somebody that didn't have their mother in their life and so strong about that. Someone that did, I get it, but that's what makes this situation so much more weird. It's like something else has to be going on because she's like, she don't give a damn. You have to know that when she made those posts about Jacqueline and stuff like that, she had to have known that was going to get back to some way back to that girl's family that essentially helped raise her mama having ass. I'm just saying.
Oh,
it's just it's a whole different level of disrespect. But I don't know what they be going through them two, but it's a lot. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just ready to get this over and done with. I'm not interested in what Robyn has to say next week in that 90-minute interview because I feel like she's not going to be honest. I don't care what Charisse has to say. They can just tell. They should have just told her don't even come to the set. Just stay at the hotel and have a good time. I'm not interested in seeing what she got to say. All I'm interested in seeing is Chris and just be over and done with this season.
Okay. Well, we gonna see what that is tomorrow. We got some. You was the only caller, but then all of a sudden the line for the club got long. I guess they must realize that it's jumping up in here. So I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Tawana.
Thank you, Tawana. Bye.
All right. Our next call is going to be Nisha.
Okay, Nisha.
Okay, she done switched it up.
Well, like Nisha.
Okay.
What you got for us?
Gizelle is so disgusting to me. She made that shit hard to watch. Like I wanted to jump through my TV and strangle her. She is like literally the type of woman. If you think about anybody that Gizelle is connected to and she likes, she is the type of woman who cannot form actual real friendships with women unless she feels that they are beneath her. Any woman that looks good, has a brain, has anything going for herself, she views them as threatening. So she doesn't like them, or she wants to beef with them, or start shit with them to take them down. I don't know if it's because of all the shit Jamal went through with all his women, and she just don't like women. But she is a person that cannot be a real true friend to a woman unless she look at Robyn. She's a flunky. She's broke. She don't got nothing going on. She don't have a brain. She could be her best friend because she feels that she's beneath her. Any other woman that's smart or got anything going on, she don't want to be bothered with them. Because that's going to make her have to look in the mirror and see that she ain't shit. And I just don't like her. I don't like her. It's nothing wrong with not liking somebody, but at the same time, I cannot stand you and still have compassion for something I've seen you go through.
Yeah.
I still don't have to like your ass, but I still can feel bad that something happened to you. Yeah. Or if you were totally wrong, I could still feel bad about it. And then Mia, I want her off my screen. She need to take her ass down to the welfare.
That shit really gonna be off.
And
take her ass down to the welfare.
Take her ass down to the welfare and be done with it. And Ashley don't like her either. She been disgusting from season 1 until now. She was the one going to look and see what people had in their bank accounts and shit. But she wants compassion when it come to her. Right. Like you're a weirdo. Like you a big ass head weirdo. Like you just a weird bitch.
Audrey was coming from what Sonya says.
And Robyn got her ass bit right in the ass with all them comments. I think if your life is playing out, we should show it on camera. I wish that they would have waited to film the reunion so all this could be full circle so somebody could throw it right back at her ass like, well, wait a minute. I think she probably would have been quiet the whole entire time if we would have got away for that. And lastly, Jacqueline and Mia they've been friends for 30 years, but it's been on a surface level. Like we've been knowing each other this long, we stuck, because you can't respect somebody and still do that. I have stopped talking to people that I've been friends with for 15 years, or just take a break from them. I'm still never telling your secrets. Never. You could do me wrong. I'm still gonna stay solid.
Yeah.
I don't want to fall out with your family. I can hate you to death, but I'm gonna still speak to your mama. I'm gonna still talk to your kids. So I ain't gonna never take it there.
Yeah.
That's a lack of respect that they have for each other, because there's no way y'all can be friends for 30 years and you get on national TV
and
start spraying this girl.
True.
Like if that's my friend, that's my bitch. Whatever man she got.
Yeah.
And
well,
she
gave
I'm
her deodorant. She did.
I'm not telling nobody that though. Like, I just had to pay that bitch phone bill for. I'm not doing that to my friend.
Yeah.
I'm not never doing that. Like, that's like weird behavior.
Weirdo.
Okay.
I agree.
All right, Nisha, we got 2 more callers in this queue. So I'm gonna get them in.
But
thank you for calling in.
I like that hair, girl.
We're gonna see you next week.
Okay, see y'all.
All right, thank you, Nisha. All right, I'm gonna let come here now. I'm crazy now. But hey, TKC, how you doing?
Hi guys. Oh, how are y'all?
How are you?
Good. How
Happy
are
Monday.
you?
Oh, now she muted. Hey Antonio.
Hey, TKC.
I think she had to go to the bathroom. She got a runny nose.
Okay. Anyway, I agree with not the caller before me, but my good sis Tawana. I do believe Wendy should leave the show. I don't think she should jeopardize her future. Hopefully one day she gets tenure, and hopefully one day she gets on a primetime show on MSNBC. But yeah, I think she should leave the Real Housewives of Potomac. She's really not needed. I mean, she was at the end of the couch. Karen was at the head of the couch. Well, hey Jasmine, how are you? Karen was at the couch, not giving nothing. So I think Wendy should leave. We don't want her to get assaulted anymore. I think that, we don't want her being a victim to anything else. So I do think my good sis Wendy Osefo should leave and go on with her career and her beautiful, beautiful, beautiful family. I do think that should happen. Anyway, let's get to Gizelle. Now listen, I tolerated Gizelle because she's friends with Robyn, but I never saw it for her. But listen, Gizelle, I love me a good troll. And Gizelle was trolling this episode. Gizelle knew exactly what Candiace was meant when she was talking about the colorism thing. She knew exactly what Candiace meant. And that girl was trolling like nobody's business. And I'm not gonna lie, it was funny as hell. Because she knew exactly what Candiace was talking about. And she's sitting there talking, what does that have to do? Giselle, you know what Candiace was talking about, but it's like, that's why, like, y'all call her a mean girl and stuff, but, like, Kenya is a mean girl. Y'all stand for her. Like, Lisa Rinna is a mean girl. Like, what franchise? There's a mean girl in every franchise. I'm not seeing what's the difference between what Gizelle does and what Kenya does and what Rinna does.
Well, real quick though. One thing that different between Gizelle and those other two is, yes, they can be mean girls and they do fucked up shit, but they also give some in-depth personal stories as well. So they bring more than just trying to be a mean girl to.
And that's it.
Well, you right about that. You are right about that. I will admit that Gizelle, I really don't know much about Gizelle. Not that I really care to know much about Gizelle. I really don't. But it's like, they were like, oh, we don't know Gizelle had a sister, but nobody cares everybody don't want to be on TV. Who cares she has a sister? But like I said, Kenya has a role, Lisa Rinna has a role, Gizelle has her role. Gizelle ain't sweating it. Giselle does not care. Y'all can keep calling her.
Gizelle was sweating over there.
So do you know are you a Gizelle fan? Because you gagging her, but
you know what? I'm not gonna lie. This episode, Gizelle had me hollering. I'm not gonna lie because she was trolling, and I love me a good troll.
Oh, you are easily impressed, TKC.
You are.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I am, but Gizelle was trolling from when she said good. What she said when they finished the topic on conference. Now she said, "Now let's get back to being low." I'm not gonna lie, I hollered. That's a good. That's a housewife. I'm not gonna lie. I maybe they'll stand next season. I don't know.
Okay.
Because y'all say we're gonna be fired next season, so I need to stand somebody.
Oh my
You
god.
said somebody with some substance.
Candiace
Dang.
she leveled down a little bit, but Candiace is still in my back pocket.
I'd rather you be a Robyn than a Gizzard. Because
Not a gizzard.
I mean,
anyway,
have you seen Karen's neck? Did you see Karen's neck about to fall off?
Have you seen your neck, TKC? Where's your neck? Let me see your neck.
Anyway,
turn the lights on.
Let's see. I gotta get this last call in.
Wigs lifting up. Okay, all right.
Thank you for calling. Okay, TKC. All right. All right. I cannot.
Yeah.
Take us in and take us out, okay? Because we rolling. I'm not.
I don't ever want to be trolled when the conversation of colorism or any other topics of bigotry or prejudice comes up. I don't want to be trolled. And also Gizelle set herself up because now everyone is reading her for from coming from a civil rights background and acting she don't know what's happening. So I don't really know if that was like the best look just for a quote unquote troll moment. Because now people are disgusted by her.
Yeah.
It's not like she don't care. Just,
to me, though, they say they don't care, but who are the main ones? Always, somehow, some way, knowing what the blog is saying, knowing what Candiace and Kristen tweeted. It is always Robyn and Gizelle. So you are paying attention because they're the main ones when this show is on, talking about what someone said, what the blog is saying, what this is saying. Like, they are paying attention. They want to act like they don't care. But to me, I'm a little Bravo nerd and all that kind of stuff, and half the time they talk about these rumors I have never heard of. So you must be doing something. Paying attention somewhere on social media that doesn't pay you.
You better speak your speech, Kyra.
Y'all always be playing with me. So that part, to me, I have never liked Mia. Mia is dangerous because she's quite emotionally manipulative. You sit here and say that you did all this to your friend because you just you were overwhelmed and you weren't expecting her to need so much support. To the point where you were posting a DV video of her asking for her to be fired. You were sitting in group chats about food stamps and foreclosure. Mind you, this is the same woman who was losing her mind because someone said your mom was low budget last season. Apparently calling her job, trying to get her fired. This is Mia. This is people's queen.
Who's
queen?
Queen is there?
The people who love her being delusional, all that kind of stuff. She's not delusional. She is seeking validation. She's seeking attention. And somehow, some way, though, she also wants to be on top. Like, the fact that you would text that to someone, to a group of people, is disgusting. And I don't care if it's true or not.
She called and tried to get Jacqueline fired. I'm sorry. Is that
yes. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, she was. So when she made that post about the domestic violence, her end game was to have her removed from the show.
No, people are saying that she called her actual job.
Oh, she worked. I didn't know that Jacqueline worked.
Yeah, apparently Jacqueline has some high security clearance of the government. Like, has worked for the State Department of Defense.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
So to me, Mia is very, because to me, how are you the same woman who was, oh my God, you call my mother low budget and all this kind of stuff, and now we're coming and seeing text messages of you talking about people in foreclosure and food stamps.
Yeah.
What do you do that at? And I'm sorry, I will never see it for Football Head because she's one of the main ones who dog whistles, who talks about Candiace's vocabulary, who to me is mostly the only reason why I see this whole Wendy and Ashley thing happening is because Ashley really got put on notice when she called Wendy ferocious Wendy's first season. And so I think Ashley's like, I've already gone too far with Candiace. I can't do it with the next one. So I feel like she's been trying to clean up ever since with Wendy. That's me because I think she's real stupid and dumb when it comes to Gollum because she sees him as her daddy. But when it comes to the show, she's trying to keep her check. And because she'd be the main one that surprisingly white people always end up in her inbox talking about her dark skin cast members because she's the main one who be dog whistling.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's why she's had to come out twice now on videos talking about how she's not colorist. And the first one I think is when she was pregnant and she said something towards Candiace and she had to make oh, I'm not colorist. Please don't be inboxing me about my darker skin castmates. Why do people feel comfortable coming to your DMs to talk about your dark skin cast members? It's because you've made them feel comfortable.
Mm.
So she can sit there and try to put words together, but you were just the same woman just last episode trying to act like Candiace doesn't deserve the fruits of generational wealth while your white children do. So I don't know where the show's gonna go. I feel like I'm at a point where I'll just like watch reviews and maybe not watch the show anymore, because the way watching a 50-plus-year-old woman saying I don't like her and stretching her arm out for her being assaulted, I'm like, Gizelle, I don't like you, and I'm happy, but I'm happy that you were able to get your health situation together. I'm disappointed that you didn't share that when your job is to share your life, and especially since you weren't sharing anything else other than a story that could have changed Chris's reality, which is a problem.
Right.
That is a problem when you've come to a point now where where the only way you feel you can make quote unquote entertainment is saying things that will change someone's reality, especially when they're not rooted in truth. If they're rooted in truth and something really going on, okay, girl, spill it. But now you've continued has made up things and like again can change someone's reality separate from the show. So that's me leaning in for the moment.
Well, thank you for leaning in. I wish I could say my voice going out, child, but thank you for leaning in, okay?
Oh wait, Cortez, one question. I heard, I haven't been able to look into it of the sense that Candiace actually wanted a moderator and she was voted out.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know about that, honestly.
Yeah, but I do. What my last thing is like, I think it is maybe Wendy and Candiace are really trying to be careful about just blatantly calling people colorists. They're participating in unbiased colorism, but some of these women in this cast are clearly colorists. And like that naivete needs to be gone. Like at this point nowadays, like you just need to call it what it is because it is deplorable. But yes.
And people can think it's so funny to troll and stuff like that until you start really hitting below the belt, like talking about people's mamas and stuff like that. So I just feel like, they're like, oh, then she's trolling. Okay, well, we can, when people start really trolling back, that's when they really understand the effects of being trolled on something like discrimination and things like that, of that nature. I don't think it's funny. And play in my face if you want to, because I you go low, I'm going to go to hell. And that's just where we at.
Yeah.
Talking to the devil.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you, Kyra. Okay, we was trying to lean out, but Chase, who Chase, who hijacked the show, wants to get on and say something, but I don't see him in the queue. So Chase, unless you join with the next few seconds, we're about to lean out because we is overtime, okay? And I know if I saw a video for an hour and 30 minutes, I'd be like, I am not watching that. But I'm so glad for those that do, because it's different because we are, we talk. But hey, Chase, what's going on?
Oh, is this one of those videos?
Is it? If it's something wrong with my stream, that's all right, because something wrong with your stream all night, Jasmine.
Oh, what you got for us, Chase?
Are we talking about my forehead?
Okay, anyway.
Jacqueline and Mia,
I just want to be very quick. I had a quick haiku, and I'm going to let it go. I just want to say, Cortez, you did the thing. Jasmine, up until 5 seconds ago, you were my woman king, okay? Antonio, do you look at you? And TKC, do not get up here with that mess because we're going to put your ass on mute. What is wrong with him?
He likes to be the rougher up.
I will say I don't think the Robins are boring if TKC's representation. I think they're very
if he never
great show. I hate everybody on this show. I'm not watching the next season. Some people gotta go. Y'all did y'all big one. Good night.
Question, Chase. When does the SWV show start? Next week?
Oh, SWV. It starts on Sunday, and so we'll have the first review up this Tuesday for the people.
Okay, yeah. Yes. So for those that are watching the SWV and Escape show, I don't know what is it called. It's called
The Queens of R&B.
That's it, Queens of R&B. Chase will be hosting that, and it'll be a recorded show, so it'll be posted. But starting on Tuesday, those reviews will be coming up too. So if you're into that, check it out. Because Potomac, next week is actually the last week for Potomac, so we almost out of here on Mondays for a minute. All right, Chase.
All right, bye, you guys. Bye. And Jasmine, bye.
All right, so with that being said, like this video, subscribe. It's been a long night, but I thought this reunion was like jam-packed, so I didn't expect it to be anything different. So thank you, Antonio and Jasmine, for riding out the entire way through. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be Yeah.
Highest pay.
I know that's right. But yeah, like the video. Thank everybody for watching. Sass K did thank our callers today. So thank you to Nisha, TKC,
Tawana,
Ira, and Tawana for calling in today. And everybody that watched, we saw you guys and hope you guys really enjoyed the show. All right, I'm gonna go drink some tea because clearly I sound like
Me too.
I ain't Brandon no more. I don't know who I sound like.
I see he means Candiace.
I sound and look a mess. My forehead.
Yeah, thank y'all for bearing with me and Jazz's throats because.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Good night. Thank y'all.
I don't do that.